Boom, and we're live. How's everyone doing today? It is a wonderful Wednesday afternoon here in southern Missouri. It's warm, sunny, unseasonably warm. It doesn't feel like spoopy season, which is a problem for me. I hope everyone is having a great day. We're going to draw some more robots, really, is what we're going to do today. You know what's going on. We have our wheel set up and ready to go. Check the description for the video to see what's already on the wheel. If you have ideas you would like to see come up and share with us, you can share in the chat. I did set the chat to subscribers only mode. Hi, how's it going? Just to try to keep a little bit of possible stuff down. There's been some people going around hitting random streams that I watch and spamming them with some negative, nasty stuff. And I don't want that to come up in our stream. So I've set it to subscribers only. Not that that would really stop them, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, like I said, check out the description if you want to see what's already on the wheel. And make sure if you want to add anything to that list before we start our next robot, you share it in chat and we'll add it to the list. We are going to also be starting with a werewolf. We went ahead and rolled that one, spun that one up on Monday. So we will do that first. I'm just going to start sketching it in real rough. Got to keep the posers out. That's right. Those posers. Now, really, honestly, there has been an increase in like spam attack stuff on YouTube live recently, so I'm a little nervous about that. And you basically have to have been subscribed for 5 minutes or so to be able to chat, and I think that's too long for the robots to care. Can you make an all-seeing Sonic costume? I really like my creepypasta and definitely would like to see it as a costume. We can add it to the list, definitely. I don't see any reason not to add it to the list. And we'll see what the wheel wills, what the wheel wills. You know, that's just how the world works. All seeing Sonic. I have put it on my list. It is easier to be problematic on the internet, but I'm going to go ahead and start sketching in a new robot werewolf here. We ended Monday's stream by doing one last spin on the wheel so I would know where to start today. And this is where we spun up a werewolf. So we'll get him put together and see what happens. And I think I'm going to do something like a little BB-88. BB-88? Am I a fake nerd? BB-8? Can you make a Discord server? If so, make an art channel so then people on the server can send their art. You know what? I've been thinking about it a lot lately, actually making a Discord server. So I will do that. I will work on that this weekend. And we'll see how that goes. I was seriously considering making a Discord server already, so I will do that. I'll put it, make it happen. All right, and I think, actually, you know what? I think I still want this little orb body, but I think I want it to be more like a little Mr. Handy, where it's got a little jetpack butt. Keeping it going. 1.8, I believe. We're gonna have to look it up. I think you're right. I think it's BB-8. It is. You're correct. It is BB8. I don't know why I was thinking 88. It was in my head. Maybe I just like saying words over and over again. And then maybe we'll give him a little arm like this. Another arm like this. All right, so that's, I think, my basic robot shape. So now I have to give this robot a costume to make it into a werewolf. So I think I'll start. I'm actually need to put in some robot eyes here first. And we'll start by giving it like a werewolf mask. How do I want this to go? Basically, I want this to be the werewolf area here, a little ball, and then have it like tied on like that. And maybe also just go ahead and give this little robot some werewolf ears. Like that. And what if we did like old school costumes and we do like a flannel dad shirt? Like the robot's wearing someone else's shirt with a little fur sticking out. And at the end of the day, we are just piles of knowledge that is functioning a meat robot. Think about it. Yeah, that's actually a common belief. My friends commonly refer to ourselves as biological mechas being powered by haunted electric meatballs. I'm going to give it actual little robot hands. Not normal for me, but I think I like having the little robot hands, maybe. Like that. And maybe this mouth should be open a little, like that. So I think this is my rough shape of my robot here. My werewolf robot. It's going to be wearing a little werewolf robot costume. So let's go ahead and sketch in some details. I have to admit, I love drawing robots. It's definitely something that is really brings me joy. And there's not enough joy in this world, so everyone should do the things that bring them joy. I'm going to bring this lip down first. Grrr, fangs. Okay, I'm not happy with that. I'm actually going to bring this back to just being a snooter mask like this. And we'll have little fangs coming off of it. At my school, my science teachers are so chill because I would normally draw in my sketchbook in class and they would say, you can still draw asking as you don't disturb the class or anyone. I follow the rule. So I have a video. One of the very first videos I did on this channel, like way back in January, is about how art has always been a thing that I used to help me concentrate and focus on stuff and kind of drown out the noise in my head. And one of the things I point out in that video is that doodling becomes a lot more acceptable in meetings when you refer to it as visual note taking or draw notes. But I have always doodled in my notes, like all the way through school. And I am known as being someone who is somewhat prolific in the amount of productivity I can accomplish, and someone who is very good at learning and retaining information. So, I don't see anything wrong with doodling your notes. There's actually quite a bit of research that shows that doodle notes are much more effective than standard notes for a lot of people. So you should just do that if that's what helps you learn. But I think it's important to learn science, even as creatives, because there's a lot of cool stuff in the world of science, and not enough people know science these days. So I also encourage you to continue to pursue learning science. Today I was playing, but my friend just randomly entered my room and was like, "What the hell?" and grabbed my bug spray. I don't know what that means. You gotta remember, if that's a hip, cool slang, you gotta remember I'm old and nerdy. So I don't know anything young or hip. And that's an either or scenario. I don't know most things that are young or hip. So even if it was hip in the 90s, I probably don't know it. Although there is a more likely chance that I know it if it was hip in the 90s than now. Pretty good chance. Do you know Bunsen burners? Yes, I am familiar with Bunsen burners. Yeah. So there's a good chance that if it was hip in the 80s, I know it because I've had enough time to grok that. And I mean that in the sense of Heinlein's to understand something completely so much that you intuit it, not the Elon Musk's destroying society with his crappy robots grokking. But yeah, I'm familiar with Bunsen burners. I also know the difference between a beaker and a flask. I'm very proud of myself for my knowledge of the difference between a beaker and a flask. It comes up very rarely in society, but it's one of those things that so few people actually know. And it's not their fault. We've done a good job of misinformation when it comes to science lab equipment. A week ago, I was in science and we put liquid of copper, I think, in a bit of metal before putting it in a blue flame, hottest flame. It turned into green flame, and that was so cool. Yeah, definitely. That's actually something worth noting. So, most of your fireworks, when you're like at a fireworks display, most fireworks just have the basic materials of gunpowder in them. But what gives them the different colors for all the different fireworks is different little trace metals like aluminum or copper or whatever, because they burn different colors. So, like, that's cool. That's how you make fire art out of fire. It's by knowing that it's different metals burn at different colors. I have to admit, though, it's been a very, very long time since I took any kind of science class. The most recent science class I took, not counting the basic biology class I took at WGU to knock out a credit that I just brute force memorized a bunch of terminology and passed the final in one day, was a physics class in 2001. So... it's been a very long time since I took a formalized science class. My science education is lacking. Stay in school, kids. I'm not even 16. I'm telling advice. 100%. School is better than the real world. I will say that. It doesn't. I don't even necessarily have a get an education piece of feedback there. I mean, I do, like, I'm pro education, but while you're in school, life will feel stressful, and it is compared to what you've known for most of it. But trust me when I say leaving school is so much worse than anything you'll do in school. And that is speaking as someone who went to high school with an undiagnosed mental disability, mental illness, and was regularly bullied. So, trust me when I say the real world gets worse. It also gets better in a lot of ways. I mean, don't get me wrong there. I'm glad I'm an adult now. And there's a lot of things I don't have to put up with anymore because I'm an adult. And because honestly, the world just kind of gets better over time in a lot of ways. But also, I have responsibilities now, and that sucks. I would much rather... Can I be mature and have adult stuff, but have the responsibilities of a high school student? That's what I want. When you walk away from a Bunsen burner on a blue flame, turn it into yellow orange flame because blue flame is the hottest flame ever and it also looks invisible. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I would actually go so far as to say, like, fun fact, pro tip, don't leave fire unattended in general. I know it's like, no fun. I'm being a fuddy-duddy over here, but just as a general rule, I believe that leaving fire unattended is something you should avoid. I've seen too many consequences of fire being left to its own devices, including losing an entire house and all of my stuff. So, in general, keep an eye on your flames. But notice I'm not telling you not to play with fire because, well... Who am I? Who am I to tell people to do things, not do things I did? I have to admit, I did not expect to come to YouTube. Like, I knew that my art attracts a younger audience a lot of the time. Not always, but a lot of the time. But I did not expect to find as many young people as I did interested in watching me doodle. And I appreciate you guys being here. That said, y'all make me feel old. Fuddy Duddy makes me happy. The head of a science department came in class one day and did a chemical reaction, I think. We covered our ears and needed something to a plastic bottle before putting it on fire, making a loud bang, and it flies back. Yeah, depressurizing something like that really fast is not just a loud bang. That's a pretty concussive force that you could do with a plastic bottle. There could be, not likely, it's not super likely, but in a situation like that, you could actually have liquid shrapnel where pieces of melted plastic go flying, and that can be pretty dangerous. So keep that in mind if you're ever thinking about repeating that experiment. Again, not telling you not to do it, just saying, be safe if you're going to. Also, yes, the word fuddy-duddy is just a good word. So I don't know if you saw that the Abnormal Brain Neurospicy Frankenstein's Monster video is up on the channel. And it has some cool research that when I was digging into some stuff, I learned and I thought I would share. I'm really trying to experiment with a lot of different types of content right now. That's one of those things when I was asked like why I do so much work for so few views. One of my reasons is because I don't really know what I'm doing yet. And that's not necessarily mean like as far as video production goes, because I have some experience in that. It means like I don't really know what my permanent format is going to be yet. So now's a good time to not have viewers while I experiment on things and figure out exactly what I love the most. But it was nice to use my academia.edu subscription again. You should. I think you'll dig it. It's only like 5 minutes long, so it's not bad. At least one chemical reaction happens every day. One of them is eating something, but the chemical reaction is the food and the stomach acid. That's true. Also, the bacteria in your stomach breaking down the food is a chemical reaction. You have actually a ton of chemical reactions going on inside your body at any given time, because most of how your body functions to create energy is in some form of chemical reaction using amino acids. It's called the Krebs cycle, if I remember correctly, from that one biology class that I brute forced my way through a few years ago. Little robot, you have gems in your hands. I don't know why I drew them like this, but I decided to. You guys ever just get a compulsion to sing? I know it's not just me, because my dad does it and my sister does it, but it could very well be a genetically inherited trait we got from our father. So it could be just our family thing that has a compulsion to constantly sing narrate whatever it is you're doing. That's kind of the route we go as a family all the time. It's like, also I have a hard time standing still without just like collapsing into sleep. I get sleepy if I stand still too long. So like one of the things that people like joke about at the market where I sell my stuff is that I do a little dance all day long. And that's kind of my two modes, is either like doing a little dance or falling asleep. But that actually has a pretty basic explanation. I get a lot of nervous energy going when I'm out in public and interacting with people because I have social anxiety. And the easiest way for me to keep moving is to just kind of burn up that anxious energy a bit. It helps sometimes. Most of the time, it helps. It's also why I like doing things like this live stream. Something I learned about myself, as a teenager, probably around your age, GE1. I learned that I do not have social anxiety if I am like the center of attention. I don't know, like I'm not sure if that makes sense. But like I get the opposite of stage fright, basically. When I'm performing, when I'm on camera, when I'm like in front of a crowd, where I'm in front of a crowd, I don't really get anxiety from that. I get anxiety a lot of the time from being anonymous in a crowd. And maybe that just makes me egotistical, but you know, My therapist thinks I'm cool. Those are just kind of the things, though, that as you get older, you learn about yourself. Is like one of the things I think that as you get older, you learn about the world in general is that the concept of like introvert versus extrovert is a little too black and white for what the world really is. Like, my Myers-Briggs personality type is definitely extroverted. Like, I fully fall into... if anyone is curious, my Myers-Briggs personality type is an ENTJ. For what it's worth, that's my Myers-Briggs type. And my Enneagram is a 5W4. And if you are familiar with Myers-Briggs and Enneagram, then, or familiar with Enneagram at least, I mean, I think Myers-Briggs is kind of obvious. The E stands for extrovert. But a 5 in Enneagram is an introverted Enneagram sign. And extroverted 5s are very, very rare. But I always tell people it's because I'm not actually extroverted in the way Enneagram considers extroverted. I am extroverted in the way that Carl Jung considered things extroverted, which is a different story. Myers-Briggs personality type is based mostly on Jungian psychology. At my daycare, we had a pool with a Tad pools, and I threw in food, and they all rushed to it. Now, this day, I think that was a specific race. Okay. That's great. My therapist thinks I'm cool. It's true. She said so. She couldn't have possibly just been pandering to make me feel better because she's paid to. That's not true. That's not what I pay my therapist for. I don't pay my therapist at all anymore. I'm not seeing a therapist currently. I was given a certificate that said I didn't have to go to my therapist because she said I was ready to handle my life solo. And also because she was going back to corporate practice and had to get rid of like half of her clients. But she gave me a certificate and she made it with crayons, which I thought was awesome. And it said that I was cool. And that I graduated therapy. All right, I think I'm going to make this a little darker. Should we add a little... Man, did you hear that? My voice just cracked. I'm 41 years old. My voice just cracked. Should we add some, like, I don't know, little tufts of fur coming out of the shirt here? Not like the ones I already have coming out of the sleeves, but like coming out of the chest. Like give it a little bit of... I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on a PG-13 stream. You know what? They said it on Psych. Give it a little Sternbush. I think I'm going to. Also, I just realized I was coloring in the wrong layer there again. Like that. And then I gotta decolor all the things I just colored. What is going on here? Why is this not working? You know what? We'll just cheat. We will set this as a reference. Create a new layer. Black And boop. Now, if we turn this one off, we can see we got a new line art layer. Yay! Do you know what spring locks are? In general, or are you specifically asking me if I am familiar with the mascot / costume outfit robots from Five Nights at Freddy's? Because the answer is yes, both ways. I might be side related to, like, it's hard to exist in the world and not know some things about Five Nights at Freddy's. I have never played the games. Let me start by saying that, though. I did go see the movie. No, I didn't go see the movie. I think I saw it when it was on HBO Max. But I have a niece who is the appropriate age for knowing the cool stuff in the world these days. And sometimes she keeps me appraised of the cool stuff that's in the world. Also, I am a big fan of the Theorist channels. So, Five Nights with Freddy's I'm very familiar with because MatPat talks about them all the time. Those games. Werewolf robot should have eyes. Blurb, 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 blurb. And a little gray. So yeah, I am familiar with spring locks. And let's see, what color should we make this shirt? Let's do like a green. You know me, I'm going to do green unless someone tells me something other than green. You have to be like, no, not green. Green is my favorite color. It's the best color. This is not open for debate. Digging the werewolf mask. Thank you. I'm currently working on a FNAF cosplay and I just had to add spring locks. I can't let water or sweat touch them or they will basically impale me. MatPat retired. He did retire. Sort of. They announced that he was retiring. He retired from all of the 4 Theorist channels, and they announced that he was going to retire and Ash was going to take over GT Live, but he's still going on there. So we'll see if he ever actually does. And it's very sad. It is very sad that he is retiring because he's very good at what he does. And it's actually something I kind of have been lamenting today. I have to admit, I had a little bit of jerk brain today. And a little bit of frustration with just like the algorithmic system and things like that. And I wrote a script for an episode that I'll probably film maybe sometime, maybe. And honestly, like, part of what tells me that I am kind of right in my rant is because the Theorist channels still exist. So, like, I know a lot of people have lost hope on, like, creativity and things like that on platforms like YouTube. But really, like, that community shows that there is still a lot of space for people to actually be creative and not just fall into the guru pyramid scheme. Okay. Let's see. Let's go like this. You know what? I really like the how the werewolf mask too, but I think what really does it for me on this image right here is the fur sticking out of the shirt. Can I see the Krampus to go? Yeah, as soon as I finish this, I can pull up Krampus and show you Krampus. No problem at all whatsoever. Let's see. No, that's not going to work. What am I doing here with this shadow? You definitely kind of want to have it come around like this. And then maybe like this. And if light is coming from this way, like that. There we go. That's not bad. That works pretty well. And then we'll come down here. And we'll something like this. And like this. And just have a little bit of shiny coming out of there. And same over here. I'll come down here and I'm actually going to do like this. Yeah, there we go. I like that. Those shadows are looking pretty good. And I'm just going to come over here and put some real subtle ones on this glove hand thing. This weird bejeweled robot hand. Oops. What is going on there? Oh, because that's not. So if I set this as my reference layer. But set as reference. There we go. There we go. That's more like it. We'll close in all of that. We'll add just a little bit of furry shadow to this arm. There we go. And blam. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? How's this looking? I think I probably need to add a little bit of yellow to the jet flame down here. And I don't know if you saw when I tapped that little weird icon that looks kind of like the Flash's symbol, but that is like stops it from crossing lines and it's paint inside. There we go. There is our werewolf robot. Spoopy Bag was noticed again today. That makes me very happy. I love the Spoopy Bag. I need to get more stuff up on the store. Being completely honest, it's a lot of work and time feels like something I don't just doesn't exist right now for me. I just feel like I'm constantly running out of time. And it makes me sad because I don't think I'm going to get back any real time anytime soon. Yeah, anytime soon. Okay. I just put you. Oh. Boop, boop, boop. Transform. Fit to screen. Blam. Boom. There's Krampus the goat for you. Krampus was a good drawing. I'm proud of that one. Got a card out of it and an art print. I'm hitting my big bottle of water tonight. Okay. All right. So while I'm pulling stuff up here, let's roll the next roll. Before I do that, I need to add All-Seeing Sonic. Let me do. And C14 equals all seeing Sonic. And we will copy that. Paste that. Control J. All right, there we go. And transition. There we go. Okay. All right, you guys ready for me to spin this wheel? Be right back. Going to do homework about mythology creatures. Cool. What creatures are you learning about? Clown. The most terrifying of all of the possible costumes. The clown costume. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Okay, let's see. What type of robot should we start with here? We've got a quadrupedal robot. We've got a big ball robot. Got a floaty ball robot. So we gotta decide on a new type of robot. I'm thinking like a Tin Man style Bender from Futurama style robot. Be right. We can do Hydras, but I really like the Loch Ness Monster. Cool. I also dig the Loch Ness Monster. One of the stickers I did this summer and then turned into an art print was a Loch Ness Monster-esque thing. The sea monster of sorts. All right. So we're going to do basically a robot made up mostly of cylinders is what we're doing. And I'm going to start with a little bit of symmetrical stuff. Like this. Something like that. Boop. I am Superman. And I know what's happening. Tie like this. Maybe a little something like that on the clown hair wig, big poofy ball. And then I'm going to turn off my symmetry and I'm going to grab this arm and I'm going to flip it upside down like this. And I think that's going to be my basic shape for this robot. So we'll come in here and we'll sketch it in. We'll just do a little detailed sketch. I'm going to start with nose because the nose is the most prominent part of a clown. Big round nose. Like I said, I'm going to give it some heavily inspired by something like Bender from Futurama or like let's see, what is the robot I'm thinking of here in Fallout? You can reprogram them to be cops or police officers or they're not Assaultrons, they're not Mr. Handies. Dang it. It's gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's gonna drive me crazy. And they're not brain bots, obviously. Robots in Fallout. They are protectrons. Are kind of similar to what I was thinking of. So I come up here like this. I also like the idea that maybe because in Robot World, I'm building lore. I'm building lore for this sticker pack. In Robot World, all of the humans are gone, and the robots are just trying to recreate human society. That's what I've decided in my head. And I think they have to do that based off of memes that were, that's how robots think humans, like that's all human communication is left as memes. So in Robot World, clowns are like the most terrifying monster you can dress as for Halloween. So this robot is dressed as a scary monster, basically. And let's face it, that's not entirely inaccurate. Like, if your kid, I don't have kids, so grain of salt. But I feel like if your child comes up to you and is like, I want to go as a clown for Halloween, that's a red flag. And maybe you should have that kid talk to someone. And maybe get some counseling. Because they might turn out becoming Pendulette. People thought that joke was going to go a different direction, and I went completely over their heads anyway. Pendulette famously went to clown college and doesn't want people to go to real college because he wants them to follow his political ideology. And people that go to real college don't follow his political ideology. Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to be talking. Entertain. Anyway, yeah, I like this guy. This guy's fun, I think. I also think I did little like Bender style feet, which is appropriate for the robot. But I think I need to extend them way out like this because he's dressed as a clown. And clowns wear big shoes. So we'll come in like this. And then also down here like this. See, so that makes more sense, doesn't it, Mr. Robot? I'm just drawing that line in so it'll make it easier for me to shade later to give that depth. And then we'll give him like a little flower that you can sniff. And maybe one of these things. The clown collar. Bring it up here. I don't know what it's called other than just like a little frilly like thing. The little wavy clown collar thing. That's what I'm going to call it anyway. And big poof ball on the chest. Like that. And I think that's going to be the clowny parts of this. So we're going to do this for the arm here. This is like the most simple way you can draw a robot hand. And what's great about robot hands, ruffle collar maybe, that could very well be. Ruffle is a good word for it. The great thing about robot hands is that unlike normal hands, if you screw up the anatomy and put the fingers in the wrong place or put the wrong number of fingers, it's because it's a robot and not a person. That's why drawing robots is better than drawing people. All right, and then we're going to come over here, and this one's going to come like this. And this will be the back of the hand. Coming out like this. No one has to question it. They don't even have to match. You can have two different hand shapes. Bloop. There we go. All right. This is our robot clown looking down at us from a terrifying angle. I might have gotten a little too spooky on this piece for my normal level of spoop that I prefer. This might be a little too dark. Did I make something scary? Did I successfully make scary art? Probably not. Start with a nose. And then I am gonna bring back for the actual robot features, I think. I want to be fairly symmetrical. Robots are not people and therefore are mostly symmetrical. Let's start with this and just kind of this is not looking the way I wanted it to look. Oh well. You know what? We're not going to do symmetry because I think it's going to be easier for me to freehand this and not make it look bad. But I do think I probably need to bring this size down on my brush. So a little nose, little visor face. Bring that back in here again. Oops. Crossed. That is not. Yeah. Sometimes things just do weird stuff. All right. So we're going to come across like this. And then down like this. There we go. That's lined up better. Then, get rid of those. The nose makes me think of Beaker. I appreciate that. You know what? I'm okay. I'm happy with that. Beaker is probably my second favorite Muppet. I love Bunsen and Beaker. Going back to talking about science is awesome. But if I'm being completely 100% honest, and there's absolutely no reason not to be when you're talking about your favorite Muppet, I think my favorite Muppet is excuse me. My favorite Muppet is either Animal, which is everyone's favorite Muppet, I think, secretly, or the Swedish Chef. I could go either way. I wouldn't argue one over the other. Beaker, though, is definitely, like, if I had to put a top 5 Muppets together, Beaker is without a doubt in the top 5, but only as a duo with Bunsen. Like, I need them together. It just doesn't feel fair to not have both. That's about as close as a Beaker voice as I can get. My voice won't go much higher than that. But I can do a Swedish Chef voice. Sorry, that is both fun to imitate. Yeah. My favorite joke in any of the Muppet properties comes from the Muppet movie. And by that, I mean the original Muppet movie from way back in the day, not the Jason Segel Muppet movie, although I enjoy the Jason Segel Muppet movie. But it's the Swedish Chef at the movie, like wearing the 3D glasses, and he's throwing popcorn up in the air and going, 3D, 3D, 3D. Just it is. It's one of those things that lives rent free in my head. Also, a fun fact about me as a person. When I was in high school, I did high school theater, which isn't a new fact for anyone who has talked to me for more than like 10 minutes. But I did dinner theater once. We did a performance of a show called Only an Orphan Girl. And I played the father, the adopted father of said orphan girl, Sven Perkins. And the accent I ended up doing the show with was very much the one I just did. Hello, my name is Sven Perkins, and I find these kind of funny way to talk. But throughout the rehearsal of the show, the director tried to get me to do a bunch of different accents, just like had me try out a bunch of different accents for the character. Even at one point, there was going to be a joke about us, like having me change accents every scene. And it turns out that I'm not that talented. So I love Statler and Waldorf. That also a great combo. The best Muppets come in combos. Because Animal is great, and Animal can carry his own, but Animal is best when he's part of Dr. Teeth's band. Okay. Oops, I missed a spot. Bloop. There we go. One of the things that came up while I was doing like my it's impossible to succeed on YouTube without being scammy clickbaity guy research today was like one of the things you're supposed to ask yourself when you're trying to come up with content you can make is like, what could you talk about for 30, like do a 30-minute presentation on without any notice? And I think I just realized that I could do a 30-minute presentation on the Muppets without any notice. Not that I have been talking for 30 minutes about the Muppets, although I might have been. But because you brought up Statler and Waldorf, and my natural inclination was to start talking about how they were inspired by a pair of actors that were somewhat famous at the time for being grumpy old men. But not the pair of actors that would be famous for making a movie called Grumpy Old Men. Although to be fair, Walter Matthau and John Lennon were, John Lennon, Jack Lemmon were famous before making Grumpy Old Men. I mean, they were the original Odd Couple. So yeah, that's my level of nerddom for you. Would it be blasphemous if I admitted that I am not quite old enough to have appreciated the Muppets when they were on the Muppet Show, but my love of the Muppets comes mostly from Muppet Babies? And the fact that my grandmother had all of the Muppet movies on VHS tape growing up. And there are multiple Muppet movies out there. The Great Muppet Caper, Muppets Take Manhattan, The Muppet Movie, Muppets. There's a sequel to Muppets that I can't think of the name of. Muppet Treasure Island. Muppet Christmas Carol. The one where Gonzo finds out he's an alien. Man, we were spoiled of Muppet content in the 80s and 90s and didn't even know it. We didn't know that we were living in the golden age of Muppets. And Muppetry. Oops. This goes the other direction, like this. I feel like the world needs a new Muppet stuff. And I don't mean like we need to make a new Muppet movie. I mean like we need a new version of the Henson Workshop. Like we need a new visionary to bring a whole new level of creativity to life. I think we've been kind of stagnant in that way for a while now. And we could really use a new hero to save us from our own boredom. Like, who is going to make the next The Labyrinth? And I don't mean a remake of The Labyrinth, Hollywood. No one wants that. Yeah, who's gonna bring us the next Dark Crystal? It's probably going to be some independent creator on YouTube, if I'm being completely honest. And that is why I am trying to do my part to be as positive and encouraging for young creators as I can be, because I don't want people to get discouraged by the destructive force that is the algorithm. All right. This might be the most terrifying robot art I've ever drawn. Oh, I love The Labyrinth too, although I don't know how much of my love of the Labyrinth movie is nostalgia bait versus it actually being any good. I haven't seen it and I haven't watched it in a long time. So I honestly could not tell you for sure if it holds up. And I'm a little afraid to find out. But that being said, how could you ever be disappointed by Bowie? All right. Let's add. Actually, I'm going to do that with color. I'm going to do that with the color layer. We're going to go lineless on this wig. Okay, so there's our line art. I think this is a pretty good looking image. I think I dig it. I think I did a pretty good job with it. I'm pretty happy with it. So, set reference, and let's color this guy in. Bloom, bloom, bloom. Oop. How did I miss that? Right there. Okay. Do 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 do. Okay. I think that's everything that's gonna stay gray on this robot. I'm gonna do some red real fast. Red. Red, red. Like that. And then we'll do a bright green and yellow on the flower. And then just some basic color choices on the poof balls. And I think I'm also going to do like a yellow on this side. And what color clashes the most with yellow? Pink? Pink is clashy. That's clashy. White. Come down here and turn off this background so we can see where we're putting white. All right. And of course, loop like that. All right. Now we're going to come in here and we're just going to grab red. And actually, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to cheat. Make my life easier. Red, orange, what did I do wrong here? I need 2 reference layers. This isn't going to be too hard to fix. We'll do it like this. Release reference. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. What the heck? There. Oh, that's why. I was on the wrong layer. Ha ha ha. Always fun. Always fun to be on the wrong layer. So, orange. Yellow. You know what? This might actually be easier if I did do like this. Green. blue. Good old Roy G. Biv. I don't know what teacher was the first one to teach me Roy G. Biv, but that teacher has permanently been a part of my life ever since. Indigo. That quite honestly might be the first mnemonic device I ever learned. And a mnemonic device might be the most important lesson I ever learned. And violet. Blam! I am the Clowntron 5,000,001. All right. So really, I'm really out there going, what exactly is the thing I should be making that makes most people happy, really, right? That was the kind of where I was at, what I was looking for today. Not to ruin a potential video that I might never make, but there is kind of a sentiment going around, like the art tube world, so to speak, that it isn't really worthwhile to do like time-lapse videos or anything like that, because they don't work, like they work better in a short form content. And honestly, my experience has been true to that also. They're more popular in short form. And the entire ecosystem has kind of become saturated with like scammers. And the only way you can really feel legit as an art tuber right now and get views is if you make how-to content, but very few of us feel comfortable making how-to content because like imposter syndrome is real. And also, like, if I'm being completely honest here, and kind of bringing that mercenary brain back, we make content to get people to like look at our art and maybe buy some. And finally home. Welcome home. If you make how-to content, you're making content for other artists, and they're not going to buy your stuff. Like, you're looking for the people who like your art. So it's kind of one of those things that's become a little discouraging. I'm actually going to turn off this color layer. Okay. Yeah. Because, like, what type of content do you make for people? What do you do? How do you find that content you want to make that makes people happy, that people engage with, that helps you find your audience? And that's kind of the challenge that a lot of people are facing right now. And I am one of them, because it's really easy to fall into the like scammy, clickbaity traps on YouTube. And trust me, it would be very, very easy for me to do that. I did it professionally for a long time, but I would really like to avoid it while still making the type of content that my audience wants to watch. Like, I don't want to give up making videos because I just enjoy making them. And I'm not super great at them right now, but I'm getting better. And I'd like to keep doing it. So that's what I was doing today, is I was trying to kind of figure out that aspect of my business and what I can do to make better content that is more engaging and interesting and that people actually want to watch. And what I think I've come up with is probably doing more story-esque, like what's the word I'm looking for here? Narrative stuff, maybe, is a possibility. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. We'll see how things happen. But if there's something you think you would like to see from me, let me know, and I will try it out and see how it feels. But this week, when I was doing the Frankenstein video and the research that I put into that and like kind of the things that I learned about it, it felt like that was a little bit closer to the right direction for me. So we'll see. But I like live streaming. I like the ability to come in and interact with the audience and just hang out with you guys and do these drawings and just have a little chill time. I really enjoy it. So, Paramin, how is your day going? I see that you're finally home. I hope you're having a good day. I would hate to find out you're having a bad time, having a bad day. But those happen too sometimes, and sometimes the best way to deal with it is to just kind of chill out and hang out and have a nice relaxing time watching someone draw robots, I guess. I was joking because this robot is wearing a clown costume, and I think it might be the first time I've ever drawn something that might actually be scary. Robots are scary. Clowns are scary. Robot clown should be terrifying. I'm predicting it now. Robot clown is going to be the costume of 2025. Mark my words. You'll see. You'll see. This time next year, all the kids are going to want to dress as a robot clown. Not to sound like a hipster, but that has been my luck in life. I don't want to come off as a hipster and say like I knew things were cool before other people. I feel like it's like the opposite of that statement. Like my personal timing has always been off, so that when I like things, they're not cool, and then they become cool when I've moved on to something else. That's been a repeated experience in my life. Like there have been things where I was like, oh, I was ahead of that trend by like 2 years, but not in a cool way, in a very much in a like, and no one cares way. It's going, been a busy day, lots of chest pains. Now I'm re-rendering the video. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks. I hope everything's okay. I hope you got all of that sorted out. I will say it does suck that you have to re-render a video, but in my experience, rendering a video in DaVinci is like 1/10 the time of rendering it on in Premiere Pro. So hopefully that's your experience also. And your life it's a little easier for you because of that. All right, I'm going to add some shading. Top of this guy's arm. Like the light source is right in here, is basically like right in this area here is kind of what I'm going for here. So maybe we'll pull back a little bit like this to kind of show that he's cylindrical. And I'm going to come down like this. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. That's the opposite of how I made that to go down. Oop. I actually wanted it to be like this. There we go. And same over here. There. This video took 47 minutes to render last time, and the whole video is only 1 hour and 2 minutes long. But honestly, for me, if a video was 1 hour and 2 minutes long, to render it from Premiere would take like 3 hours. So the fact that it took less time to render than the overall length of the video is very fast to me. Like when I do a little short and it is, you know, a minute long, it usually takes me about 1.5 minutes in DaVinci Resolve to render. And if I render it from Premiere, it would take like 10 minutes. My computer is very much not fast though. Like that is really like, it is really not. So I am now getting into shading in detail on this guy that is not going to be visible on a sticker at all. Just because I feel like it looks better. Super subtle, not going to show up on a sticker. No point in doing it. Okay, I'm calling Robot Clown done. I love him. I think he looks great. I think this is an awesome sticker image. This is a blank layer I don't need. I think it turned out really well. I don't necessarily know that it fits with the rest of my robot stickers that I've done so far. We've got this guy here. We've got this guy here. I'm going to make him a little smaller. We're going to make them comparable sizes. We've got the princess. And we've got the jack-o'-lantern head quadruped robot. So we're sitting at 4 of our 5 robots right now. And it is 5:24, so I'm not going to get the 5th one done tonight. But I think that just means that we will knock it out on Friday. And see where the night takes us from there. I was hoping to have these sticker packs available and ready to go on Saturday, but I still could. It's still possible. Still a possibility that it could happen. Anything's possible. If I get done at 5:30, I could print off 5 sheets of stickers. Yeah, I could get them done. Crazy. I rendered episode 1 from Premiere Pro in 14 minutes. I might have to check and see if Resolve isn't using hardware rendering. That could be making a huge difference. That is a very good possibility. Also, one thing to note about DaVinci Resolve is it actually works better on Radeon hardware instead of NVIDIA hardware. Just a fun fact, not that that should be a big difference between Premiere and DaVinci for you right now, but also check your cache settings in DaVinci. There, you can Google how to do it and watch a YouTube. If your cache is full or it's not big enough, it will take longer to render, because what DaVinci will do, the reason it can do it faster, is that it has a really good caching system where it will cache all of your effects and everything and then render them in place. And that causes it to like kind of have pre-rendered. It's like pre-rendering in Premiere Pro, but automatically instead of manually, is the best way I can describe it. You're probably going to have to Google it, because it definitely has hardware acceleration. Like, that's got to be a thing. I just don't know. The new version of DaVinci Resolve I downloaded before restarting my computer for this stream. Anyway, it is 3 minutes till. I have 3 minutes left in my normal stream time. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Thanks for participating. If you are watching this after the stream ends, but before Friday, be sure to get in the chat with any costume recommendations you would like to add to the list. We took clown and werewolf off the list today and added a couple new ones on, but I'm always willing to add. I will probably be doing costumed things in general all through October. So if we don't do a robot wearing that costume, we might do something else wearing that costume, because so far we've done dogs, cats, capybara, now robots. Who knows what else we can put in costumes? I love to doodle, and costumes are fun. I love Halloween. So anyway, be sure to check out, if you want, the video from yesterday was the drawing process for the Neurospicy Frankenstein's monster, Neurospicy Frankie, which is one of the October stickers. I did some cool research and found an awesome academic paper, and I think you'll like what you can learn if you want to do a little bit of deep diving. Anyway, thank you for coming by. Thank you, Perriman, for stopping by. Love doing the stream. Hope everyone can make it back to another one. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you. As always, I've been Matt Brotherton. And remember to please, please, please stay weird.